Hey everybody, welcome to number 8 in our build series. We are building the legs today. We are going to be starting with our leg set that we have been doing daily this week. So I'm just going to be using a set of 20-pound dumbbells today, but grab whatever you want. If you want to go a little bit heavier than that, you're also going to need a box. We're going to use a box for some balance lunges, some step ups, and a Copenhagen. So if you don't have a box, use a chair, a bench, a step. Even if it's not super high, it'll still give you some sort of range and elevation. And if you don't have any of those things, once we get to that portion, I'll give you some alternates to do. So let's go ahead and take a wide base of support. Bring your arms all the way up. Deep, deep, deep inhale. Reach up out of your rib cage, and then exhale, hinge over those legs. And then twist both hands to the left. Ooh, to get that upper body a little stretch through the back, and then twist both hands to the right. All right, and then we're going to come back to center and drop into a low squat. Start with one heel up and one heel down, and then rotate side to side. Lengthen through the back, lift that chest, roll those shoulder blades down. And then we're going to level off in the middle. So just sit your heels, push those knees wide. This is such a good position to get into daily for a few minutes throughout the day, especially if you sit much in a chair. I don't know what else you would sit on, but if you're sitting much in your day or having one position that you're stuck in, this would be a good pose to get into throughout your day. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and take it down to the ground. All right, extend your right leg long. Go ahead and let it rest on the ground for me and just tug your left knee in. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Tug that right leg in. And then we're going to set our feet so that they're just outside the hips. Put your arms in a goalpost position and then rock both knees to the left. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Just recognize what's going on through the back, the hips, glutes, thighs. Rotate to center and then hit the other way. Also recognize what's going on differently side to side. Definitely feel different things rotating one direction over the other. All right, let's get it going. So set your feet so that they're just at hip width. And when you push your hips up into that glute bridge, your knees will be right on top of the heels. Squeeze the knees toward one another. We're going 20 here. 2. Nice little warm up, but also getting everything engaged. Remember, we're not worried about how high we're getting the hips necessarily, but just trying to open the hip flexors and really generate heat and grab through the glutes and the hamstrings, even the inner thighs. Those adductors, we're going to be working the groin later. You play sports, or your kids play sports, or you know anybody else that plays sports, recommend this little leg set to them. It's going to help keep their inner thighs, their groins, their hamstrings happy, less chance of them getting pulled. Keeps that low back happy. 4, 3, 2, hold up. Put one leg up in the air and then try to keep those hips level. Drop and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really get some drive going. Don't lose your core. 8, 9, 10. Hold the hips up and then lift and lower your leg. Feel your hamstring get a little stretch as you pull the leg back. 3. Keep driving into that right supporting leg. Check in with that core. Even check in with your hip joint. See if anything's rotating. Try to keep things lined up. And central, here's 10. Other side. Whee! Drop and push. 1, 4. Really need to have good awareness of our glutes. It's crazy how difficult it is for some people to find their glutes, even in something like a glute bridge. Up and hold, lift and lower your leg. They use their quads. So make sure that you're generating work from your glute. Find the glute, be able to recruit and charge and flex the muscle that you want. It takes time, don't give up. We're in this for a lifetime. Our style of training and type may change over time, but we're always training, we're always working, keeping the body healthy, working on vitality, longevity. Last one. Okay, drop the hips, rest your head and hands. If you don't crunch, you're going to hit your dead bug. Otherwise, join me with your crunches. You can also hit a pelvic tuck. So just tucking your pelvis to push your low back into the ground, grabbing into those deep internal core muscles, transverse abdominis. We worked on finding those on our build number 1. Those are another set of exercises that take time to find and recruit. But stick with it. You'll get there. Here's 10. We got 10 to go. Keep your glutes out of it now. Focus on that core. Make sure you're staying flexed as you lower back to the ground. Envision you're scooping the belly to get your contraction and lift as opposed to protruding. 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right. Rock and roll it up. We're going to go into our squats. You can go weighted or non-weighted. Goblet squats, hold your bell up. Belly locks in. 10, 9, 8. Drive out of those heels. Again, find the glutes. 4, after leg day. Shouldn't be your quads burning. We need to be able to find those hamstrings and glutes. All right. 20 jump squats. If you want to keep your feet on the ground, feel free. You don't have to jump. Just go quick. Body weight squats. 18, 19, 20. Okay. You're going to hit up a curtsy lunge. Weighted or unweighted, up to you. Line your knee with the toe forward. Here we go. Wrap around that core. 8, 9, and 10. Really got to watch my hip hinge on the front leg for these. Get a deep crease. You can really dig in through that glute then to come to the top. 3 to go. 9 and 10. All right. We're going to go jump lunges, or you can do a lunge and tuck. Line up those hips, core holds strong, 10 each side. Go for range. Whew. Flex in, tuck in, and grab to those legs. Well done, well done. All right. Hit up a quick down dog with me. Nice big, spread open fingertips. Push those hips back. Slide your shoulder blades down. Just grab through that core. Get a quick stretch to your hamstring and calf. All right. And then grab that box. So we're going to be hitting up a step up first. So one leg is going to stay supported on the box. You're going to keep it there the whole time. I'm going to be using both my 20s, 10 on one side, 10 on the other. So depending on the weight that you decide to hold, or if you decide to go body weight, you'll run a little faster. So just keep your reps going. If you're going body weight, or if you have a lower box, or if you're faster, just hit higher reps until I hit the second side, then switch to the other side. Hopefully you can get the same amount, both sides. If you don't have a box, you'll hold your weight, and you're going to do those lunge with leg extensions. So you'll lunge, and then get that back leg kick. Same count. Okay, from there, you'll hold one weight, and we're going to do our balance lateral lunge. So you'll get your one foot up on the box. This is going to be money for that groin, that inner thigh. You're going to hinge nice and deep, pushing those hips back, 10 on one side, 10 on the other. If you don't have a box, then I'm going to have you hold that weight, and you're just going to lunge to the side and drive back up. Lunge to the side, drive back up. Keep that inner thigh strong, whether it's on the box or on the floor. Then we're going to do a Copenhagen. So you're going to put your top foot on the top leg on your box. And then hand or elbow, it's completely up to you. You're going to push yourself up into a side plank. If you need to keep this foot down, that's fine. But you're going to be working more on the supporting top inner thigh, that groin, than you are on the bottom. Okay, from here, just going to pull the knee up and push it back like this. So 10 on one side, 10 on the other. You're going to feel a lot of core going on, but again, get that grab, your adductor, that inner thigh, your groin. All right, let's go. Open chest, strong core. Get your foot set. Remember, we're driving through the heel. We wanted to get those glutes. If you hit yesterday, build day 6. We worked a lot on core and stability. We need to incorporate that here. Keep those hips level. Pelvis set. 2 more. Other side. Find your hamstring. Find your glute. Remember, we're working both directions of the move. Whew. 8, 9, 10. All right. Get rid of one weight. Get your goblet hold. One leg up on your box. Make sure you're flexed in. Sit back and down. 3. Focus on what you're feeling. Get it where you want it. 7. It's crazy as it is. We have a similar movement, right, in this right leg as we do when we're in a regular lunge. But how different, it's crazy how different feels when the other leg isn't supporting you in the back and it's at a lateral position. Feel everything a little different. That front leg. How my back and core have to support a little different. Oof. 7. Trying to really hinge back. 10. Remember, we're getting into that work on your inner thigh. Oh, I didn't tell you what to do if you don't have a box for your Copenhagen. We've done this before, I think on maybe another build day, maybe not yet. Okay, so you just keep your side plank, your top leg, so if you're on your right arm, your left leg is going to hold the support, and then you're going to lift and lower your other leg. If you don't plank, keep your hips on the ground and then pull up from there. So it's going to take a little more focus on your lifting leg if your hips are on the ground, but you can do it. We're practicing and learning how to get everything flexed in. 1, stack it up. 2, 3, 7, 8. Remember, focus that top groin. 10. Other side. Stack, contract, and go. 2, 3, 6. Incorporate those pelvic floor muscles. All right, we're down a set. Phew. Round through that back real quick. Stretch through those hamstrings, and then let's go. All right. Drive up through that heel. Scan the body, core, upper back, glute. 7. 10. Really watching the tendency to collapse into that pushing hip. Keep it flexed, glute pushing. Try to stay tall, long spine. Keep that stacked posture. 9, 10. Okay, our lateral balance lunge. Here we go. 1, 3, 4. Can you flex all the way up and all the way down? Try to never let your flexions go. 9, 10. Phew. Recheck in your core. There it is. 8, 9. Chest is going to drop forward, but keep your back long. So make sure you don't end up rounding over your knee, over your leg. All right. Let's start on my second side this time. Timing is great. Keep it up. 1. 3, focus. Where are you getting the work? 8, what are we here to grab? 10, that groin. Build the groin. 2, 3, open that chest. 4, spread through those fingertips. 8, 9, 10. Woohoo! All right, one more to go. Stay flexed, stay connected. What are we building? Keep your focus. Line that knee right on top of your heel as close as you can. 9, 10. 1, 2, 4. 6. Focus on that burn. Where's the grab? 9. Well done. All right. Get that line up. Check your hips. Check your core. 2, make sure you're bending the knee. So sometimes I notice the chest just drops forward as opposed to the hips dropping. So drop your hips. Keep your back long. Belly strong. One more. Noodly. It's good. 1, 3, 4. Get that range. 9 and 10. Solid. Very good. Okay. Come on, Copenhagen. I'd love to hear from you how these are going. When I first started doing these, they were very, very tough. My groin was like, what the heck? 4. It's an isometric contraction on that supporting side. So you have to make that hold happen. 8, 9, 10. Big spread open fingertips. Make sure you find that thumb and first finger for support. So you have a big starfish hand. 4, there it is. 6, grip in. 9, 10. Whew. Remember, it's not about just counting it down. It's about getting the work where you want it. All right. Have a little extra time for stretch. It's what I wanted. Great work. Great work. All right. wide stance, kind of mat width at the back of your mat. If you want to go a little wider, feel free. Just push your hips back and let your upper body hang forward. So feel your body weight pull on those hamstrings. Okay, walk your hands forward. Big wide open hands. Narrow off your feet and set up in your down dog. Drive the heels to the ground. Press the chest back. If you need to bend your knees, that's fine. I want your butt in the air. So this here is not a very awesome down dog. Okay, you want your shoulders, or I'm sorry, your ears inside your biceps. So in order to get that to happen, sometimes we have to bend our knees. And that's fine. So you can stay there, or once you're there, slowly try to drop your heels toward the ground, but make sure you're relaxed in the neck. Hollow out your armpits. All right, drop onto your knees. And then you're going to take your right leg and extend it out to the right. So the heel can, or I'm sorry, the inner arch, the sole of the foot can be on the ground, or you can pull up to your heel, and the toes can be up. So you find wherever you like the feeling. I'm going to go for sole of the foot on the ground. Curl the back foot under, and then sit back. And then your body kind of leans over the right leg, getting that stretch there. My back is still long. My core is still gently strong, gently engaged. Okay, bring yourself forward. And we're going to start with our pigeon. So the right leg, swing it across so that the right foot's on the left side of your mat. Plant your hands and then drive the outside of your calf down to the ground as much as you can. Now look at your hips and make sure they're squared off. And then stay here if this is enough stretch, or lower on down by just walking that back knee back, as long as you're not rocking over onto the outside of that right hip. So look at your hips and make sure that the top of that left hip bone is pointing down at the ground. All right, so if the front of your hips have headlights on them, that back left hip headlight should be pointing right at the floor, right at the ground. Internal strength is feeling really good. Feel the work extending from our core set from build 7 and our back set, build 6. Whew. Okay, and then we're going to come back up to your hands and just roll a little more onto the outer edge of that left thigh. So your right knee is going to come up and then roll back around. Okay, we're going to flip around and hit up the other side. So bring your left foot out with the sole of the foot on the ground, and then curl your right toes under. Slowly hinge back. Make little adjustments however you need. Getting a little lean of the body toward the extended leg. It's going to increase your stretch. All right. And then come on up. And we're going to take that foot across. Hands are forward. Drop the outside of your calf to the ground. Now look at your hips. Check in. Line them up. Make sure they're squared off. Get your headlight where it needs to be. So I've got to watch this side. Depending on how many of these sessions you've done so far, you will also know if you have one side you kind of got to watch out for. Kind of have to get into a little slower. Make sure your body doesn't twist or compensate. If the other side, your right side, felt tighter, hold this one just a couple more seconds and then go back to it. This is my tighter side. I'm going to stay here just a little longer. Check in with those hips. When it's tight, your body's going to kind of flex up and try to kind of put a little bit of resistance into the stretch. So if you can hold on a little longer, focus on your breath, then usually your body will relax, kind of resign itself to the stretch. All right, go ahead and bring your foot around, and we're going to go into a butterfly stretch. Put the soles of your feet together. Take your hands behind and then push yourself up off the ground. Well, not your hips up, but your just elongate. So a lot of times we end up collapsing in our low back in this stretch or in a forward fold stretch from the ground. So using your hands will help make sure that you're not collapsing and rounding. And then every exhale, just try to relax. Let those inner thighs open up. Okay, see if you can keep your height as you move your hands. Right, so we're not going to round and collapse, but try to stay up nice and high. You're going to take your left hand behind your hip, so that'll kind of help lift, and then your right hand outside your left knee. Give it a twist. Make sure you're lifting up high out of the hips, and then we're going to hit that other side. Plant your right hand. Push your left hand on the right thigh. Ooh, nice little back pop. Get that push. Good. Bring both hands together and round in the front. Perfect. Nice job, everybody. I am very excited that we got a nice, big, long build in the legs today. So it's going to gear us up for what we have coming tomorrow. Have a great day.